Internets, hello, you absolute lovelies. Let's talk about my favorite superhero of all time. Maybe my favorite character in fiction of all time. Let's talk about this guy right here. Let's talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day. We're going to be diving into rumors. They will be addressed as rumors. We're going to be diving into that suit. So much about that suit. Going to be talking about the comic book references, the artist that influenced it. Going to be talking about the practicality of it in movie, some theories there, as well as some theories about its movie influences, as well as its comic influences. Excited to talk about that. Also, going to be talking about all sorts of MCU world building because Punisher is wrapped as well. And then while we're talking stuff, a little bit of Spider-Punk news, and I want to have a different kind of conversation about box office near the end of this video. I know everyone's sick of talking about box office, but I do have some interesting numbers I want to share that I think are very relevant. But first, we got lots of Spider-Man to discuss. So if you are new to this page, I cover comic books. I cover a lot of comic books. This channel, well, this show specifically on this channel is about the books themselves. Today, after reading 50 to 70 comics a week, I'm going to give you my favorite 9 comics and tell you the ones that I think are the most approachable, the best comics on the shelves, try to save you some money, but also try to get you in a comic store. So if you like movies, you like TV, you like comic books, hit that subscription bell. Also, press a like while you're pressing buttons. And most of all, please, let's have a conversation in the comments below. I love the fact that we've reached the point where, like, I can have Deadly Class art and Superman art and Batman art and Tyler Durden art and Prodigy art all on one wall because pop culture has caught up to so many of the things I loved as a kid that people didn't talk about. So let's talk about it in the comments below. This art fell. This one right here. This is on the ground. It's Barbenheimer art, but that's on the ground for now. But either way, excited to talk about everything. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day, you lovelies. I pulled up some images. I usually don't mess with any sort of paparazzi photos. I'm usually not the type to share those. And admittedly, I do feel like I'm breaking my own code here, but I'm too excited to not share. And I know people on production have been sharing. I know that they made an official video release before the paparazzi photos. I also want to give that its flowers. I love that we're living in an era where if you're filming outside, they give us something official. That way we get to see it right the first time. I love that we got to see Tom Holland in the suit in the studio. The studio, like, it looked like it was an empty set with just beautiful barn doors open for lighting and some obviously, enhanced lighting, but a very bare bones look at the suit first before we see it in grainy paparazzi photos. And then, of course, minutes later in very well taken paparazzi photos and like fan photos because he's out there shaking hands, meeting kids, being adorable. But I like this trend of showing off the suit first. So with that said, since we have so much footage of it, I don't feel like I'm completely betraying my no paparazzi code because there is so much out there and so much to share, and a lot of it is official. So I want to dive into some goodness with you lovelies and share some of the things I think influence this beautiful suit. So this is our mask. This to me is a literal, to me, one-to-one of Alex Ross. So we've got the stunning mask, which to me looks literally just like a piece of Alex Ross art. And of course, it's not popping up here. Let me do a little side by side for you lovelies. I don't have OBS. I don't know how to work any of that stuff. So you guys are getting bare bone technology, and we're gonna kick it old school because to me this is too insane and too exciting not to share. So to me, the 3 big influences on the suit are Alex Ross is probably second only to John Romita Sr. To me, this is a straight up John Romita Sr. suit. So John Romita Sr. is one of the most iconic artists on Spider-Man. He took over pretty early into the run. Steve Ditko was the man who first drew Spider-Man ever, but we had like Ross Andrew into John Romita Sr., and they made him a little bit more approachable, a little bit more handsome, a little bit more of the guy that's, out around college and vibing. And the Ditko era was very intentionally like angles and weird and intense. John Romita Sr. and Ross Andrew, who needs his flowers, gave him a little bit more of that approachability. And to me, this looks just like the Romita Sr. suit. And it also has shades of Alex Ross, especially in the color choices and some of the framing use of what I've seen so far. But if you look at this, it's pretty insane. Like, we got Alex Ross influence for days, for sure. And we also have Romita Sr. influence for days, for sure. Which is, by the way, the thumbnail of this exact video is this is like Ramita Senior for days right here. I also would say it is a little bit of Marco Cicchetto, who is the current artist on Ultimate Spider-Man. He's drawing Spider-Man right now. And to me, a little bit of the eyes is Cicchetto. There's a little bit of that aggressive energy. There's a little bit of the strong angling in the eye work that feels a little Cicchetto to me. But overall, it's Ramita Sr. and definitely Alex Ross in the eyes there as well. I really think this suit is damn near perfect. I love that it's got a little give. If you look at the Marco Cicchetto art, it actually has wrinkles. It actually has some give. Like, it actually looks like cloth. It looks like, you know, clothing. So I personally hope they let the suit look like a suit and not cover it in CGI. You cast someone like Tom Holland, you let it be the guy that can actually do flips and actually move like an incredible dancer, an incredible stuntman. Like Tom Holland can be Spider-Man just in a suit. Don't CGI him, I hope. So obviously you got to smooth some things out. You got to get rid of some wires. You got to do some of that. But I want the suit to hopefully be this right here. So like I said, I believe this is Ramita Sr., the most influenced, Alex Ross right there next to it, as well as Marco Cicchetto. If you're not reading Ultimate Spider-Man, you absolutely should be. But if you look at pictures of the suit, like even just him standing, it's insane how much this feels like old John Romita Sr. art come to life. Like we literally get to see what it is to see a comic book come to life, which is absolutely staggering. I love it so very much. I'm a very, very happy nerd. And then if you look at stuff like Alex Ross's painting style, you see even more of it come to life. Like this is straight up colored like an Alex Ross painting. Like that is natural light. This is just the sun shining on him. And this feels like Alex Ross to me, which is just absolutely lovely. So this made me very happy this week. I do think we're going to get some interesting conversation as well. So those are the comic influences. I think we're going to get some interesting conversation as well about the movie influences. I think, especially with the raised webbing and this back spider, I believe this is a direct influence of him having met the other Spider-Man. I believe this is raised webbing because of Tobey's suit, and I believe this is very strongly influenced by Andrew Garfield's suit, especially this back spider. Like this is the Amazing Spider-Man 2 spider. This is a very close approximation. Obviously different. Like all the spiders have been different in different movies. Even the Spider-Man suit from Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 were different logos. But to me, it feels like he looked at his two, Uncle Ben stand-ins, his two brothers, his fellow Spider-Man. They took all of that, like the power and responsibility moment, the brothership between them, those moments of bonding, and he made a suit that mirrored both of their suits into one very comic book suit. I think it's a fantastic narrative choice. I think it's a fantastic choice to have this mirror the last film in the evolution of Spider-Man. Most of all, I personally love No Way Home still. I know a lot of people have turned on that movie for whatever reason, which is silly and exhausting. But I love that we got a trilogy in the 3 movies that were just Spider-Man. We had obviously appearances of Spider-Man in Civil War, in Infinity War, and an Endgame, but those 6 movies, and especially those 3 movies, felt like they landed us at a true Spider-Man origin. So I love that he's getting his true suit. He's getting his full-on comic accurate Spider-Man suit as we finally get a ground level, street level Spider-Man that's going to be Spider-Man. Like we are now at Spider-Man. At first, it was driving me crazy with Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home not having Uncle Ben. At first, it was really struggling with the fact that, he went from that beautiful John Hughes tone first film right to Europe, then right to space. It never got to be, friendly neighborhood. It never felt like, other than like the first half of Homecoming, the small town bodega, literal, a kid that knows the streets of New York, didn't feel that. I think it's worth it to have that trilogy lead to this movie being our first, with today's technology, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man film. And that's what's interesting about the title Brand New Day. I have a full-on video just about what I think Brand New Day is going to be. I filmed it April 1st. It is now months old. I filmed it the day of CinemaCon, literally an hour after the CinemaCon panel. I broke down my thoughts on what Brand New Day was going to be, how it ties into the MCU, all theories, all predictions. It was literally within an hour of the title being announced. No rumors had started, no casting, anything, just literally what I thought that title meant. And I stand by all of it. I think Brand New Day is the perfect thing to make a reboot within universe for the character, because in Brand New Day it was a way to bring back the Silver Age sensibilities. It was a way to bring in a lot of, you know, the dating and the broke Peter Parker navigating a world without all of his friends. Like, I think this is a really cool opportunity to do the same in a movie. So I love the title. I love what this looks to be. I love all of those elements, which brings us to the villains, you lovelies. This week has so many rumors coming out, and I just want to say that is amazing. I want tons of fake leads. I want lots of leaks. I want but like fake leaks. I want there to be so much fake news that the people that run scoops and rumors don't know what's real, and then we don't actually know too much about the movie until we get to see the movie. I think Scorpion is actually in it. I think Punisher is in it. He just wrapped his own thing. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. I think we will get a bevy of villains, because that is one, it's very Brand New Day. Two, if you're looking at the narrative of movies, you do need to kind of have a escalation. And what do you do after an interdimensional multiverse movie? You need a lot of villains in order to keep it feeling like, you know, things are expanding, and the sequel problem in movies is real. But the beautiful thing about that is you can have a bevy of villains be taken out and then turn into a main villain. You can have it open with a villain like Amazing Spider-Man 2, for all of its faults. I love it had a opening villain, closing villain, adventure in the middle. You can do things that feel like a comic book, especially after Superman and Fantastic Four, especially as society at large has accepted the language of comic books. We understand this world a little bit more, and day-to-day audiences can just dive in without it having to be spoon-fed. We don't need to see the radioactive spider bite. We don't need to see, you know, Superman come to Earth, or the Fantastic Four get cosmic rays, or the pearls in Batman. So I think, especially in this fourth film, being an origin, not technically an origin, being a starting point, a Brand New Day, I hope we get a ton of villains, as long as they're not trying to make all of them as important as each other. You can have an opening villain that is a street level henchman, that is someone we recognize. You can have a cadre of gang war. Like, some of the best Spider-Man comics are him fighting street level thugs, but there are a lot of them because he's Spider-Man. He can handle a lot of street level people. And then I'd love to see Scorpion as a big bad. I'd love to see the potential Mr. Terrific as a big bad. I'd love to see Kingpin pulling behind the scenes. I'd love to see a reason why Punisher gets manipulated and Hulk goes back to full Hulk, which I do think is Mr. Negative. But I also think those Mr. Negative things around set might be a mislead, which I would love. I also think there's the potential of not having any of that and only having Scorpion. There's a lot of really cool opportunity here, because I hope they're putting out fake leads and letting this be a surprise and letting us actually enjoy this movie. So I love the title. I love the suit. I love that Michael Mando is out there teasing stuff of him being Scorpion. I think we're getting a comic accurate Scorpion suit. I think we're going full Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show, and we're going to get actual I don't have a photo. I thought I had a photo of Michael Mando's. Oh, no, I do. I love that Michael Mando's out here sharing, Sting and the Scorpion's back, and he's excited and sharing. The smallest way to do an announcement is so effective because it doesn't reveal too much. So when we see him in the Scorpion suit, it's going to feel big and exciting. When we get the confirmations of other villains, it's going to be big and exciting. But on the journey there, the internet is such that it needs to be constantly fed. Every bit of news is dead the minute it's out there. You have to chase all this stuff. So leak a ton of fake stuff. That way we can actually enjoy the movie and not know everything that's going on. That said, even today, like, these photos came out the 2nd and 3rd. Today's the 5th. I was so afraid no one would want to watch a video about the Spider-Man suit because they'd be like, oh, it's already been out for 2 days. That's scary. I want to ride this wave for a year. I want to enjoy every little bit we get. Unofficial is going to be acknowledged as such. Official is going to be acknowledged as such. I really want to enjoy this year of Spider-Man hype. So those are my thoughts on Spider-Man Brand New Day so far. I'm going to check on these super chats real quick. Not real quick. I'm going to take my time with each of these super chats. But Then I'm going to talk about Spider-Punk real quick because we have a little bit of Spider-Punk news. And today's a big show. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So 200 of you lovelies in here. It makes me very, very happy. Also, before we move on to Super Chats, I want to give some love to the incredible Destin Daniel Cretin, who is an absolute genius of choreography, who made Shang-Chi visually sing. He is doing practical web swinging. We got to see some stuff swinging around Galway. Not Galway, that's in Ireland. We got to see some stuff swinging around Scotland. I think they're filming in Glastonbury. Anyway, they're filming in Scotland. And I love that he's doing practical web swinging. You got a talent like Tom to be like this perfectly physical Spider-Man. You've got these incredible stunt workers that are so good at physicality. I love that giant rig swinging through New York. We got New York being Scotland as a stand-in, but swinging through New York and having explosions and having a web-swinging Spider-Man. I've missed web-swinging. I love the John Watts movies, but I do miss certain elements of the Mark Webb movies and certain elements of the Sam Raimi movies. I'm excited to see what Destin Daniel Cretin does with his take, but I know it has web-swinging, so I'm already very excited. Yeah, let me know in the live chat here what you guys are thinking, how you're feeling. I am so excited to be diving into all of this. All right, let me see if I can go and all these super chats with you lovelies. Glasgow, sorry, the other G town in Scotland. I apologize, you lovelies. I want to make sure I get every single super chat. There's 230 of you lovelies in here. Please press that like. I want to make sure I get to all of them. All the super chats, but I get all the likes. We can keep this live chat a moving and grooving. Replay on live chats is never as good as one hopes. Also, just for your guys' knowledge, I have a Patreon that is what I list all of the comics I read, all of them, and list A, B, C, C plus, C minus. All of those are on Patreon. So if you want to just check out my 9 comics, I never want to gatekeep comics. I never want people to feel like they have to join anything for me to talk about comics. I love getting to share comics with you guys. But if you want to know the rest of the comics I read, what I thought of the ones that aren't in the top 9, please check those out, because that's the way I can afford to do comic-based stuff on this channel that doesn't do as well as movie-based stuff, that doesn't do as well as, you know, a lot of the big sensationalized news. I really want to keep it as grounded as possible. All right, super chat. Let us dive in, starting with Cinemaze. Thank you very much, Cinemaze, for the super chat. It means the world. It really does help this channel exist. Saying congrats on 50K. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Upgraded the lights, upgraded the camera. Going to be doing another upgrade in the camera once I figure out how to utilize that into a live. My regular videos, not live, have the upgraded camera and they look great. So upgrading everything alongside you guys contributing. I'm trying to elevate this channel. I appreciate it. Great seeing the channel grow and the opportunities you've got. Thank you very much. I've been doing, I've been adding more comic talk into my content thanks to you. Hell yes. Just hit 9K and aiming for 10 this year. Started 2025 on 6. Hey, you are already up 50% of your entire channel. That's incredible. That is great growth. 8 months to grow 150%. You're literally added another half. That's incredible. You can do 1K. I believe in you guys. Check out Cinemaze. Cinemaze. He's trying to get to 10K. Help him out. Congratulations, Cinemaze. And appreciate the kind words in the super chat, man. Spidey Sensei, what's going on, dude? House Fund donation. I appreciate it. Congrats on getting your voice back. Thank you. I got it mostly back. I was going to wait one more day, but I was too excited about these Spidey photos. So I'm going to do a little bit more vocal rest after this. It's got a little grain to it, but it's holding strong. By the way, that is a dope t-shirt today. This is an official Amazing Spider-Man 2 shirt. I don't get to wear it very often, but because it's like athleisure, it's kind of like a fitness shirt. But yeah, this is I'm a sucker for those Andrew Garfield joints. So I appreciate that very much. It felt fitting for today's news. All right, let's see. Robert Pruser. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really believe we'll get at least Matt Murdock showing up in Brand New Day, but it would make my life when we get Spider-Man and DD teaming up together on the big screen. Hope it happens in Brand New Day. Have a good day. Yeah, last week I had heard that Daredevil was going to be in Brand New Day, and then I thought I even read it, and then the article I read apparently was changed. I don't know how that would work if it, like, you know, they just take it out. They don't write an omission. They don't write a retraction. But I could have sworn I read it. And then by the time I did the show, my live chat was like, Daredevil's not confirmed. So I wanted to be very public about, I just read a thing and it was from a good source. Like it was, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter or Variety that said it, I thought. But by the time I did my live, apparently that was not a true story. So to be very clear, Daredevil is not confirmed. I do think as well he'll show up. I think there's like a 70% chance of Daredevil and like a 60% chance of Kingpin. I think it is more likely than not, but until it's true, I'm just going to hold on to it as a rumor. I think it's really exciting. We're getting a comic accurate, like beautiful Born Again season 2 suit. I think it's going to be really great to see Punisher in his very close to comic accurate look. There's no white gloves or boots, but very close to a comic accurate look, teaming up with a comic accurate Spider-Man. I think we might finally get purple shorts on Hulk. Like this thing is getting comic-y. I am oh so very excited. So yeah, I think we're all coming together, and I think seeing them on the big screen is exciting. I'm wondering if there's some sort of legal, because we got Matt Murdock in No Way Home, but not Daredevil. I'm really curious if there's like some Netflix hanging on, trickiness, or how many Marvel characters that aren't, directly MCU. I don't know what the deal is, but I hope that Daredevil can be in a Brand New Day, because that is a very exciting prospect. I appreciate it very much. All right, let's see. Tayden, thank you very much for the super chat, Tayden. I want to say you were a true inspiration. I appreciate the kind words, man. I really wish, that expression, that concept of like be the adult that you wanted to know as a kid. I wanted people to talk about comic stuff so bad when I was a kid. I remember seeing Mallrats and being just gobsmacked by Brody. Like, oh my God, someone talks about comics the way I do. I was like 7 or 8 when I saw that movie. Too young. But I remember needing that. I remember like I was obsessed with Brody Bruce. I said like waste not, want not far too often. I was one of those kids that once they got a character in mind, I was like stuck there. And then I ended up, Kevin and I become friends, and it's so funny. He's always like, you're so much nicer than Brody. Like Brody's a dick. And it's so funny that was my only one. I had one person, and now comics are culture, and society has embraced comic books. So I find it really beautiful that the next generation got to have people that were good, nice people that also spoke like Brody. And I think Brody, he's a good heart. He's just getting a lot of cover in it. He's a little insecure, so he hides it. But I appreciate that, and I try to be a voice of positivity on the internet, because it is a very negative place. So I appreciate it very much. Tayden, moment of silence from Jose. Don't worry about it. 1, excellent name. 2, appreciate the moment of silence in the super chat. Jose, don't worry about it. I appreciate you very much. Let's see. We got Sci-Fi Extremist. Always good to see you, good sir. Sci-Fi Extremist, a name I love seeing pop up. Thank you for the super chat, good sir. Bruce, Hulk, screen time close to Mr. Terrific. I would expect a little less. Mr. Terrific, I think of as being like 20 minutes. I would expect 10 or 15, maybe even 10. I think it's going to be a way to make Bruce / Hulk into a rage monster again, leading up to Doomsday or Secret Wars. This does come out before both of those, and so I could see them utilizing, if Mr. Negative is in it, kind of like they did in Age of Ultron, where the manipulation breaks Hulk. But we kind of need that Rage Hulk back. We've had Professor Hulk for a long time, something to set him off. I think Mr. Negative would be a great use of that, and I think that is a potentiality, but that would be limited screen time, just something for Punisher and Spider-Man to maybe team up against, or something to show Mr. Negative's ability, something like that. So I don't know how much time, but I don't think it'll be a lot of time, but I think it'll be impactful time, if that makes sense. Malik, thank you very much, man. Appreciate the super chat. Hey, Koi, do you think they should still focus on Peter's new life on his own, or do you think they should reintroduce his classic cast like Gwen, Randy, and Harry? I'm sure they'll bring MJ and Ned back soon as well. I think that he should be on his own, and there should be new characters, but there should be a couple that are classic to us, right? Like, I think he should be struggling in isolation, but that'd be a great time to bring in new people. Now, who those will be is very curious. Like, we are in a college age that would suit Harry and Gwen. I don't know how much the Sony universe is going to like commit to. I don't know if we're getting another whole trilogy. I don't know what the plan is for 5, 6. If it's just 4 or if it's 4, 5, 6, So it'd be tricky to introduce these characters and not have a follow-up plan. But I'm curious what that looks like, and I'd love to see Harry eventually, or Gwen. I mean, I don't know if they'd have another love interest between Mary Jane coming back, but it'd be very curious. I could also see characters like Betty Brant. I could see characters that we haven't really seen get their time to shine. I'd love to see Randy Robertson. I'd love to see Robbie Robertson working alongside J.K. Simmons as Jonah. Like those kind of characters I could see coming in. And that would kind of flesh out the Silver Age without it just being a replacement, like Ned being replaced by Harry and Mary Jane being replaced by Gwen wouldn't feel great. So I could see them used differently or smaller roles, and then adults being in a different position, but classic characters like Robbie and Randy. We will see. I'm very curious. It'd be fun if you had a roommate named Randy Robertson. We get to bring in that character. I'm very excited. Guys, killing it with the super chats. Love it. I appreciate it. Malik, thank you very much for that. And I think they will come back, but I don't know how soon. And I'm very curious about that as well. Next up, we've got, hey, Mom. My mom's in here. Hello, Mom. My voice isn't all there yet. I went up to like 3/4 full volume, totally cracked, getting my voice back. All right, Comics with Izzyverse. Comics with Izzyverse, I appreciate you very much. Thank you for the super chat. Are you going to NYCC? Would love to have a meetup at the show. One YouTuber to another. One, appreciate that. Two, I don't know. I'm in LA, so it is a very expensive con if I'm not working it. It is, flights and hotel, especially that week in New York, are a little pricey. So it's not something I can just do without working it. But if I get any panels, it is one of my favorite cons. New York in the fall is maybe my favorite place next to Boston. In the fall, there's nothing like sitting in Central Park. Last year, I literally just sat under leaves falling, and I was so happy that it was almost incomprehensibly happy, and it was the simplest thing, just being in leaves. So I would love that. If there's any opportunity, even if I can make half the money it would cost, so it's not just a giant cost, I will absolutely take up any offer to go. So time will tell. I hope so. There's a few things cooking, and I'm hoping they come to fruition, but I don't know yet. And thank you. And I'd love to, I'll schedule a meetup for sure. I meant to do one at San Diego, but I worked so much, I didn't get the chance, and then I lost my voice. So I think I'll probably do I'll be here this time, New York Comic Con. Thank you. Next up, we've got The Winter Recruit, and then we're going to do Spider-Punk, but you guys have a lot of great Spidey questions. The Winter Recruit, thank you very much, man, says, I'm reading Beauty and the Beast and looking for the Jeff Parker first-class X-Men run because I'm excited for X-Men joining the MCU. Any other recommendations? Oh, boy, great question. X-Men recommendations joining the MCU. I would say Astonishing X-Men has a lot of very approachable stuff in the first couple volumes that feel very MCU. I could see them utilizing some of that tone. I love Generation X quite a bit. I could see Jake Schreier leaning into that tone because we're probably going to go 90s throwback, at least at some point. And he definitely has that world that hates and fears them. The classic is God Loves, Man Kills. That has been adapted before, but it's one of those iconic runs. I would also check out the Claremont Byrne run, starting with I think it's Uncanny X-Men 94, and Giant Size X-Men #1 goes into Uncanny 94. And then that whole run, you get Hellfire Club, you get Dark Phoenix, you get, it's the introduction of Storm and Nightcrawler and Wolverine. So that run's really good. I love New X-Men, but it's very dense. It's weird. It's Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely. So I would check that out personally. New X-Men starting at 141, I believe, but the Grant Morrison New X-Men run, those are just some off the dome recommendations for X-Men coming into the MCU. All right, 3 more, you lovelies, and then we're diving into a little bit more news. Nick Maminga, another cool name, Nick Maminga. Thank you very much, good sir, for the super chat. I think the new Spidey suit looks great. The homage to both Andrew and Toby are very cool. Might be my favorite suit yet. Also started Ultimate Spider-Man, and it's so good. I agree. It's so good. I do think it's an homage to the two of them. I personally like the giant eyes on the Amazing Spider-Man suit, Amazing Spider-Man 2 specifically. The Andrew Garfield suit in Amazing Spider-Man 2 is probably my favorite suit, but I haven't seen this in motion yet. This might look even cooler in motion. I love that it's vibrant. I love that it's bright. I never liked, when they had to mute the colors for the time, but I thought the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit was bright enough. But this is even brighter and more vibrant. I could see this being my favorite suit in motion. It's definitely my second favorite suit, but I have so much association and love with this suit, it could dethrone it with time to see it move. So the fact that it's my #2 suit, sight unseen, except for the photos, impressive. Very excited. Love the suit, and I love the homage to the two of them as well. And I very much appreciate the super chat. And yeah, it's an exciting time to be a Spidey fan. All year, guys, lots of Spidey news coming this year. Lots of coverage from me. And if you haven't checked out Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man yet, boy, oh boy, what a great show. Check it out. It definitely captured the heart of Spider-Man. Clown Prince with a very kind super chat. Thank you very much, Clown Prince. I appreciate you. Hey, Coy, who do you think will be the main villain and who do you want to be the villain? Keep doing what you do. I enjoy listening to comic book news and even the talk about comics so I can learn more. Makes me so happy. In about 20 minutes, we're going to talk about comics themselves. We're going to dive into my favorite books from the week of the 23rd. I'm now 1 week behind instead of 2. But the cool thing about that is there was more than 9 A's. I usually just do my top 9. You guys are getting a top 12. I think it's 12. Top 12 today because there were literally 12 A's, which is a very rare feat. It was a really good week in comics, so I appreciate you tuning in for that as well. I want it to be Scorpion. I think Mr. Negative is great. I think it's a high possibility, but I really want Scorpion to get his time to shine. We saw in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man how good of a villain he can be. I've heard only amazing things about Michael Mando on Better Call Saul. I love the idea of a street level villain being a big villain. Spider-Man and Scorpion are obviously very similar parallel characters, and that's on purpose. I'm a big Steve Ditko villain era guy. I actually think I have the first Scorpion. I think it's issue 20. It's either the first or second appearance of Scorpion, but that's one of the books that I treasure because it's a really good condition. First or second Scorpion. But yeah, I'm a big Scorpion guy. I think it's going to be really fun to see him in live action. Really excited to see the dynamic of his tail and the crawling and moving and the fighting a similar type of foe. And I want it to stay street level. And I think Scorpion's a good street level guy. So I want it to be Scorpion. I think it might be Mr. Negative. We will see. Not sure yet. All right, Smitty with the last super chat for now. And then I'm going to be diving into a little bit more news. Smitty, thank you very much for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. We've got achieved a couple of my goals. Congratulations. Wife and I have a house. Dude, the fact that you threw in a super chat, commendable because houses ain't cheap. And a baby boy due in October. Congratulations. That is incredible. That's so special. October is here in like 2 months. Enjoy the next 2 months and then enjoy the next 18, 20, 30, 50 years. That is so special, man. Congratulations. Just a little something to help you get closer to your goal. What a kind message. I appreciate that very much. I am a year out from getting married, less. I'm 10 months out from getting married, and I want kids, in the next 4 or 5 years. So I'm chipping away, and all of this all helps. Like I want to get this YouTube page, please subscribe, to the point where I can do like 5 jobs instead of 8. I have 8 jobs right now, and that's too many. But if I can get this page a little bigger and keep growing this, which is the goal, which is why I'm upgrading everything, I'd love to be able to make enough money to live on this and have other money go towards my kids, that would be amazing. So we're chipping away and every bit helps. Thank you very much, Smitty. I appreciate that. Live chat. I promise you, I will talk about some of the regular live chat, but I would love to know who you guys think are some of the villains we're getting. I've heard rumors of Tombstone. I've heard rumors of Boomerang. I've heard rumors of, Kingpin. I'd love to know what some of the rumors you've heard are. Again, I love that we're getting so many rumors we get to not know, but I'd love to read the live chat to see what you guys have heard. And none of it's true until they say it's true. So it's fun to do this in a window of maybe. I see DJC said Tarantula, which is something I've heard as well. I think that is a fun possibility. I would love to see Tarantula. It's a very fun kind of play on Spider-Man, and he's got a cool backstory, and he's also in Spectacular Spider-Man #1. Beautiful cover. We've got Scorpion, Mr. Negative. The villain Screwball, I was never that big of a fan of. But hey, making obnoxious influencers into supervillains is something I support. The studio did a little jab, and I think we can go harder. We also got Morbius being the main villain, Alejandro says. For sure. I think it is absolutely Morbin time. I think if there's ever a time for a villain to come back, it is when you're doing a brand new day. Bring back Morbius, confirmed. Boomerang, I really, really think is a possibility. We did see a tease Aiden is referencing of Matt Gargan having the Venom suit. Matt Gargan, Venom in Spider-Man 5 is a very fun idea. I know that run is loved. Lionel Francis, you art. I could see him having it temporarily. Like I could see Brand New Day having Scorpion be the big bad, and then in 5 him have the suit for a minute, and then we get the Black Suit saga. We get Venom down the line. I would love a trilogy of the very end of this film going into Secret Wars. Secret Wars, just Black Suit. We actually get a Black Suit saga. Spider-Man 5, we get maybe Scorpion having the black suit, and then it transfers to Peter Parker. Peter Parker actually has a movie that doesn't have Venom. That's just the black suit Spider-Man fighting his angst, fighting against being isolated alone, fighting, all that rage built inside him. And then in a third movie, Venom Big Bad, maybe Venom kills Spider-Man Miles Morales. But I want that to be a long run, not rushed into one movie. Osborn, I don't know if we'll get an Osborn in this. If we get Norman Osborn, I would love if it is Coleman Domingo. I think he crushed it on the show. Matt McConaughey as Osborn, absolutely cool too. I think that'd be fantastic. I'd love to see that. I used to say it'd be fun to see a villain take from Tom Hanks. I think he'd be an interesting, like, just kind businessman and then an absolute monster. I think he's got, we saw in, there was that Wachowski movie where he played a villain. I want to see more of that. But I love the idea of McConaughey. That's a really fun one. Stunt casting, Dave Franco is Harry. But yeah, so we will see. We will see if we get any of that. Let's talk about Spider-Punk, you lovelies. Spider-Punk is happening. We're getting an animated Spider-Punk movie. A few reliable adjacent sources. It's confirmed in the way that the movie is being looked at, but you never know what actually comes to fruition, right? Like I believe that it is being looked at, but I don't know if we'll ever actually see it because so many movies get greenlit that people don't realize don't actually get made. But the current cooking is we are getting a animated Spider-Punk movie being co-written by Daniel Kaluuya. That is very exciting. One, because we haven't heard from Daniel Kaluuya in a while. Two, I think that there is an opportunity to make the Spider-Verse universe bigger, and I love that it's mixed medium as it is. The Spider-Verse film's already mixed medium. It'd be cool to do a live-action Spider-Man noir, a animated Spider-Man punk, blending all these mediums by doing separate movies is exciting. Daniel Kaluuya obviously played Spider-Punk, so I know he's got a voice literally and metaphorically for the character. I think this is an exciting prospect. Rumor just popped up, a little bit more than a rumor. I think it is cooking. I just don't know how far it'll get, but I hope we do in fact get a Daniel Kaluuya co-written Spider-Punk film. And I think it's smart of Sony to kind of spread out all these characters they have the rights to without necessarily doing these villain movies. I think a Spider-Verse centric universe is a much more logical direction to go. And if they can do it the same animation style Spider-Punk, that like fun punk poster overlay flavor, I would love that very, very much. Also, briefly, guys, I don't know if I can pull these up fast enough, but do you remember the actual image from CinemaCon that was the Spider-Man logo? It was literally a comic book panel, and we were all like, oh, that's crazy. They're just using comic book art. There's no way they'll actually do that as the Spider-Man image. And then we actually got that as the costume. So I'm really curious if we get that exact same thing with Doom, because that image was what the suit ended up being. I'm very curious about that as the Doom suit. Like, if we're getting all this comic accurate stuff, guys, look up CinemaCon Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then look up Doomsday CinemaCon, and it's a comic accurate Doomsday. It'd be awesome if we're leaning all the way in and we finally just get comic accurate everything before Secret Wars. I think it's possible, especially with that Punisher image. Punisher has wrapped, by the way. The Punisher special, which is going to be like the Werewolf by Night special, where it's a one-off, has just wrapped, and now Punisher's heading right over to the Spider-Man set. So John Bernthal will be joining officially Tom Holland in Scotland. He's officially signed on to the film. I love that we're getting so much Punisher content between Born Again Season 1, Born Again Season 2, this special, which has wrapped, which means it's done, which means it's actually happening. I don't believe anything until it's wrapped. First days on set, I'm always like, okay, it's happening, but now it's wrapped. It's real. And then heading over to Brand New Day, I think it's so exciting. I think we're going to get that amazing Spider-Man 129 cover. I'm just such a big fan of John Bernthal's take on Punisher. So I do think we might, with that comic accurate Spider-Man, get an even more comic accurate Punisher, maybe the white boots, maybe the white gloves, but I'm curious if that means a comic accurate Doom. They went pretty comic accurate with John Byrne's suits in Fantastic Four. We could just see that poster at CinemaCon come to life. That Alex Ross poster looks a lot like the mask. It looks a lot like the potentiality of this. There is hope. So I'm curious what you guys think. It is going to be a good time to be a Spidey fan over this next year, because I think the special drops before Spider-Man. So I think the events of Daredevil Born Again Season 1 go right into the special, and that would go right into the July 31st, release date of Spider-Man. So I'd say early summer, late spring, give them time to edit, And then basically every quarter we get something exciting. I'm very excited. We will see. I believe that is all the news. We talked Kaluuya Spider-Punk. We talked Punisher rapping. We talked about the Spidey suit and all of that glory. Now, you lovelies, I want to talk about something that I think is important, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because I know it's not everyone's favorite conversation, but I think it's really important to address it in a different way. Every channel and everywhere has been talking about box office. And I know that's the boring side of movies, and I know it's the capitalism side. I know it's the business side of show business. But if things don't do well in the box office, they stop making these movies. And I think a lot of that is optics. Movies are really expensive. And I think there are things that can be changed about that element. And I think that movie theater tickets are really expensive. And I think that A-list is how I afford to go to the movies as much as I do. And I think there are things that can change about that. That said, I think there's a huge problem with the optics of celebrating movies' failure. I think when a movie doesn't do as well in the box office, it gets way blown out of proportion because people have this thing where they like celebrating stuff that is popular's failure, or they like celebrating something that makes other people happy that they don't connect with doing badly. It's a weird human nature thing where we like celebrating failure and we like celebrating negativity. And then on top of that, the internet globs onto negativity. The internet by its nature is going to have more negativity come to the top. It's going to grow and it's exponential. That becomes a problem. But I think it's very important we look at a big reframe with the superhero box office failures because 2025, this year, we have finished our summer movie melee. August releases are much smaller. There is no August, September, or October release as big as anything that is already out. The next big movie I think that is actually huge is November and December's late wave. So in mind, we have covered most of this year's big movies. There are still more, but you could say that the top 10 domestic box office, at least 6 of those will likely be in the top 10 at the end of the year. I think that's very important to look at. Now, we are living in a post-pandemic and post-strike box office reality. Movies will never be as big as they were before the pandemic because we forgot how to socialize. We forgot how to be people. I hope they get back to almost that size. That means I don't think we're going to see as many billion-dollar movies as more. And I think that being the barometer and the base at which we judge a movie by is short-sighted, and it makes things that aren't failures look like failures. I think we need to compare movies to their own year more than we compare them to years past. I think the strike really messed things up. It was important to have, and it was important to fight for those rights. But I think that it changed the movie-going public's perspective on movies. There's a lot of animosity towards movies. That isn't the movie's fault. That isn't necessarily even the studio's fault. I think the pandemic messed up our socialization. I think it messed up the exhibition industry going out in public. I think it changed everything. So I think looking at movies compared to that year's movies is a more realistic comp than going, well, it didn't do what it did 5 years ago because it was a different time 5 years ago. So with all that being said, I wanted to talk about this year's domestic box office with all of these failures of superhero films. There are traditionally a top 10 domestic box office you look at. There's like 50, but the top 10 is what everybody focuses on. Guys, out of the top 10, I'm not fudging numbers. This is today's box office. Out of today's top 10 at the box office, we have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of these so-called superhero movie failures. We have literally 40% of the top 10 is just superhero stuff. This is domestic. This is insane to me that everyone thinks these are failures when, yes, the money they cost is a lot. But if this is what movies are doing, how can we possibly see 40% of the first half of the year we have covered through July? Ooh, I got a thing from Tipsy Scoop. As a failure, you lovelies. Now, the only one of these to make near $500 million domestic, a kids movie, and then another kids movie, and then Jurassic, which is always going to make a ton of money just by the nature of it. Then number 4 is literally a comic book movie in Superman. Number 5 was the huge breakout hit Sinners. Never forgive those articles that came out that said it wasn't doing well. How to Train Your Dragon, another kids movie, and then boom, 7, 8, and 10, all comic book movies, you lovelies. we need to reframe what it is that we're comparing to, because that's domestic. I'm ready to read the comments of people that clicked off this video already saying like, yeah, but that's only domestic. Oh, I was ready for y'all. We got international, the worldwide box office. This is the top 15. I expanded a little bit because basically worldwide is going to have more movies. Like Naze 2 hasn't even released with the American dub yet, hasn't started doing well here. I think it's getting released this month. So I'm looking at the top 15 here. And look at that. Out of the 15, those 4 are still in the top. If you want to just go to 11 up. 4 out of the top 11 movies worldwide is comic book stuff. So I think we really need to reframe what it is that we're comparing to. I think we really need to look at numbers more realistically for today. And I think studios are adjusting accordingly. I think movies are going to change how they're financed. I think distribution is going to change. I think we need to work on the theatrical window because it is far too short. Today, Jurassic World released on digital. Jurassic World is literally the number 4 biggest movie of the year worldwide. It came out 1 month ago and it's already on digital. We've got movies like Superman that need a little bit longer of a window because it's only dropped like 40% this week from last week. That is an insane drop for a 4th week window. Movies need to be in theaters longer. That's going to need to change. But out of this top 11, Nazat 2 is number 1. Lilo and Stitch kids movie, the only movie to clear $1 billion this year, American. Minecraft got close, didn't clear it, 955. Jurassic World slowing down at 766. The first Jurassic World probably not to clear $1 billion, but nobody's calling it a failure because it didn't make the money the last 3 made. It still made 766 million, and it's coming out in digital. That's going to cut that off at the legs. How to Train Your Dragon at 618. I think that Superman's going to catch up to How to Train Your Dragon and Mission Impossible, clearing 6 there. That's a big old success. And then after Superman, it goes to F1, Captain America Brave New World, Thunderbolts, which is out of theaters, which is on digital, ending its run at 382. And then Fantastic Four, rough second weekend. But if the optics are things are failing, they're going to start failing for real. If we want to focus on negativity, it's going to stay negative, and it's going to really hurt this industry we love. So looking at it, comparing to this year's movies, maybe even last year's movies, but not 5 years ago's movies, and those things that need to change, box office window, people behaving themselves in public, expectation of box office, so the optics are different. All those things are going to have to shift, but I just wanted to point that out because it was really bothering me. All right. I am going to talk about the comics themselves, you lovelies. And then I'm going to read a few of these live chats as I can. I promise to get to every single super chat. Let's do a couple super chats before we go to the comics themselves. First up, The Winter Recruit. What if the post-credits for Brand New Day... This is such a crazy idea. What if the post-credits for Brand New Day is Doom giving Peter the symbiote? I hope Secret Wars allows the suit to exist as it is in the comics, where it's like he doesn't know he's getting a suit. He goes in to get his suit repaired, and then it takes over him. I don't want Doom and Spider-Man to have a more important relationship than Reed and Doom. They might, because of the casting, but I think that's a fun idea to play with the MCU casting. I think it could work, but that would allow a way closer connection between those two characters than Reed and Doom, which I hope doesn't happen. But if it does happen, that's a fun way to make it happen. The Winter Recruit. Robert, thank you very much for the super chat, man. And Robert, thank you, sir. Huge fan of yours. Thanks, man. I hope you're getting caught up on your books. I'm trying. I just got back from vacation on a cruise, so I have 2 weeks of books to read. I am finally on last week's books. The books I'm about to tell you guys are from July 23rd. Today, I've got a bunch of stuff to do, but I'm going to start my July 30th books. And I might, if I catch up in time, I might do a bonus live stream on Friday. That way we're all caught up, and then I can go back to regular scheduled Wednesdays. So ideally, I'm going to be caught up by the end of this week. I read 23s. I'm about to read 30s, and then I'll be reading tomorrow's books alongside you guys if all goes well. Trying to read like 15 books a day. It's not easy, but I got a lot of stuff going on. But yes, I am catching up. I have caught up-ish, and I appreciate that very much. It is something I can do silently while my voice recovers. We will see. Yes, let's dive in. Oh, and by the way, I'm seeing what comments are being said. I do think there are issues with the movie theater prices. I mentioned that, but I also think people like Ragged Recording. Any household that can afford tickets has a massive screen at home. Why would they go anywhere to watch a movie aside from a crowd experience? I like the crowd experience that some don't care for anymore. I like the crowd experience. I get people wanting to stay home. I personally think that it's really bad for our mental health to always be home. I think it's really bad to isolate. I think the community element of human nature is important, but I know that I'm not everyone agrees with that. So yeah, I think that the price of TVs is like one of the only things that feels like it's actually cheaper. Black Friday, you can get like a giant TV for like $400, and that's less. So yeah, I think it's a problem, and I think that's why the tickets need to adjust. I think that, selling toys at theaters has helped buoy them, the popcorn buckets and actual toys. But I have never had a home viewing experience that I thought was a better decision than going to the theater. I've never watched a movie at home and been like, glad I didn't see that in theaters ever. I go and see Netflix movies at iPix when I can. I literally will find any way to see something in a theater every time. I don't like first time home viewings. It's not the way movies are, to me, meant to be seen. All right, you lovelies, let's talk about my favorite books from the week of July 23rd. If you guys were here for the news and not here for the comics, please press a like while you're here. If you're boogieing, I hope you're staying, but if you go, we're going to do a bunch this week because I loved a ton of comics. We're going to start off. We're going to do a little quicker, though, because I got a ton. We're going to start off with, in alphabetical order, Absolute Martian Manhunter #5. What a staggering book. This book is so dark. This book is so intense. I love the art in this book so incredibly much. Denise Camp is quickly becoming one of the writers. I will always check out anything he's done. I just started a Crisis book he's doing, which is also amazing. He's writing Ultimates. He's a genius. Anyway, his Ultimate Martian Manhunter, this book is gorgeous. The art is sensational. It is such a psychedelic trip. It's also very traumatic. It is so intense. I love this book very, very much. This is absolutely one of my favorites of the week. Absolute Martian Manhunter #5. Staying with the absolutes and the most psychedelic of this run, we've got Absolute Wonder Woman #10. This might be my favorite. I shouldn't say my favorite. This is one of my favorite issues of this whole run, and I've loved this whole run. This issue really gets to the heart of how Diana was raised, why she was raised the way she was, her upbringing in Hell versus Paradise Island, which is what we're usually known for. Themyscira is not where she's from here. She's from Hell. And we get into those elements, but there's also some really cool artwork and some craziness going on in this book. Highly recommend Absolute Wonder Woman #10. Both of these books, absolute A's, really dug them. Next up, we've got over from Marvel. Again, we're going in alphabetical order. We have Amazing Spider-Man oh no, it's not in here yet. Amazing Spider-Man #8. This is Joe Kelly writing the hell out of Spider-Man, but also John Romita Jr., who is so good at Spider-Man getting the crap kicked out of him. Man, oh man, is he good at Spider-Man under pressure. John Romita Jr. seems to be taking his time with this book. It is beautifully rendered. It is well written. I'm really digging Amazing Spider-Man right now. It's been a long time since I've loved the main title this much. It's good to have him back. So yeah, this book, fantastic. New villain, a lot of brutality, very intense book. Really digging it. Next up is, I believe, Batman 161, which I have here. This is not as good as those other books, but it's getting better. This is Hush 2. It's going in the right direction. I didn't love the beginning of Hush as much as I wanted to. I loved the very beginning, and then it fell for me, and now it's coming back. Hush is back, and this issue is beautifully rendered from Jim Lee. But why show you that one when I can show you this one? Guys, DC is having so much fun with their comics. This is literally like the third of my entire being size book. This giant size Hush is a delight every month. Really digging it. So yeah, regular size comic, giant comic. DC killing it right now with their prints and their variability and their comics. I think DC is in a really good spot with their books. I got a ton of DC on this intense run through. All right, next up from there we have we did Batman 161, DC versus Vampires World War V #11. This book is shockingly good. It's been such a fun run this whole time. I've been really impressed with this literally from the beginning. It is in its penultimate issue here. It's only got one issue left. I love the team dynamics. I love heroes having to fight each other. I love vampires being some of the heroes and then the regular human heroes having to navigate that. I love that we get in this issue Darkseid coming in and making all of that move. This is an awesome book, and it's a great Elseworld. Really dig DC versus Vampires. Check this out. Penultimate issue. One left to go in this 12-issue series. Next up, we've got Exquisite Corpses #3. Loving this title from Image Comics. This is a big event book. Imagine a world of assassins where each state in the country gets an assassin and they attack a small town, and whoever gets the most kills, that person that owns oh, I talk too much. That person that owns that state is the winner for a few years of running choices in the country. Very dystopian, very dark. Hunger Games meets Deadly Class. It's very messed up and beautiful and wonderful and crazy. So Exquisite Corpses, number 3 from Image Comics. Next up, we've got Fantastic Four Fanfare number 3. This is a nice anthology comic. Do you see all those names? These are 3 different books in this book, and all of them are pick them up and read them as you go. You don't have any continuity issues here. Dan Slott is an iconic writer of the Fantastic Four. DeFalco, iconic Marvel writer. Chip frickin' Zdarsky, legend. Love Chip Zdarsky, all writing Fantastic Four. These are all thing-centric stories. They're all delightful. They're all wicked fun. They're all very approachable. Pick up this book, especially if you enjoyed the movie. Next up, we've got Green Arrow, number 26. This book is so good. This is one of my favorite Green Arrow runs ever. This is 4 or 5, maybe 6 issues into this run. It is absolutely incredible. Love this Green Arrow take. Pick up this Green Arrow. Just go back to the first of the DC All-In. Whatever that DC All-In first time that was on the cover, this run has been so exceptional. Almost done, you lovelies. Couple more to go. Justice League Unlimited number 9. We've got the epilogue to We Are Yesterday. This is a giant crisis-level event dealing with time, going back and forth through time. We've got different variants from different timelines of our iconic heroes, which means we get Dan Mora art of Harley Quinn from practically the animated series. We get Batman, Superman, Green Lantern medley. We get Batman Beyond in here, all with Dan Mora art. We get not 1, but 2 Mr. Terrifics, written genius by Mark Waid, illustrated by the incredible Dan Mora. Really recommend that title. Speaking of the incredible Mark Waid, next up, we've got New History of the DC Universe. This is incredible if you've not been reading comics for 80 years. Are you 90 watching the show? You might be. I hope so. But if you're not, you probably haven't read 80 years of DC Comics. Volume 1 of this is volume 2, reminded me of so many things I'd only read in encyclopedias and stuff. Crazy pre-Superman stuff. Volume 1 is all pre-Superman, which means 20s, 30s, stuff beyond my, DC knowledge. This is where I start to know it, but this is like 40s and 50s stuff. So it's great to see it kind of recalibrated, modernized, streamlined. It gives you a very succinct version of the decade that these characters came to be. It's told from Barry Allen's perspective. It's really fun. It goes from the introduction of Superman to the first crisis event in this issue. Really good time, and a lot of really beautiful Alred art. I love me some Alred. Few artists in there, but a lot of really good Alred stuff. And then we've got Superman number 28 right here. This is more Dan Mora art, this time Josh Williamson writing. Josh Williamson has been killing it on Superman. This is a very intense book dealing with huge ramifications and a really cool take on Doomsday that's been prevalent for a couple years but utilized really well. Really fun stuff. Highly recommend. And the last book I'm recommending you lovelies is Uncanny X-Men number 18, Gail Simone's book with a new arc. Really fun, New Orleans-centric issue. Really fun moment of levity. I love when these characters can breathe for a moment. We can actually get to know them, not just fighting. Really fun stuff. That is going to do it. That is like 12 books for you lovelies. That is going to be everything from the week of the 23rd. And I really hope that you guys check some of those out. Please let me know in the comments below if you're reading any of those. If there's anything you think I missed, please let me know what you guys are getting into. Let me know what you thought of the Spider-Man suit. Let me know what you thought of this episode. I'd love to just hear from you lovelies in general. And now before we go, tomorrow is New Comic Book Day. Tomorrow is August 6th. These are the books I'm going to be checking out in order of the most clicks. This is not me picking an order. This is just the ones that have the most hype behind them. But all the books I'm reading starting tomorrow, the books you can pick up at your local comic shop tomorrow are, we've got Absolute Superman number 10, Absolute Green Lantern number 5, Ultimate Wolverine number 8, Ultimate X-Men number 18, Uncanny X-Men number 19, Deadpool issue, The Amazing Spider-Man number 9, One World Under Doom number 6, Captain America number 2, new from Chip Zdarsky, Something is Killing the Children 43, Batgirl, number 10. Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, number 3. Poison Ivy, number 35. Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, 11. Birds of Prey, 24. Storm, 11. World Tree, number 16. JSA, number 10. Radiant Black, number 13. All New Venom, number 9. Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe One Last Time, number 5. Red Hulk, number 7. Helverine, number 9. And we also have Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma, number 5. Secret Six, number 6. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2, number 3. Superior Avengers, number 5. Gwenpool, number 4. Wolverines and Deadpool's, number 2. Wolverine by Chris Claremont, number 1. And Napalm Lullaby, number 10. That's been a little hiatus there. Good to see that back. Napalm Lullaby, number 10. And those are the books I'm going to be reading this week, you lovelies. I got one more week to catch up on from the 30th, and then those I might do a live stream on Friday to tell you guys the comics and see if there's any other news this week. And then next Wednesday, hopefully we're back to regular scheduled. I can give you guys those books. That is going to do it, you lovelies. Spidey Sensei closing us out with a super chat. Very much appreciate that. Saying the popcorn bucket for Eminem's new movie is a giant prescription bottle just in case you wanted a new one for your collection. That is fantastic. I did not know that. Is that getting a theatrical release? I want to see it. Stan, right? I love Eminem, and yeah, maybe I'll try to make time to do that this week for some me time. That sounds amazing. Speaking of popcorn buckets, you lovelies, I just redecorated. So this is your view of me. This is my review, but I made a little corner popcorn bucket with some of my favorites. Yeah, so that's up. And then I got some comics over there. We're cooking. We're making this office an office. That's a little room tour. I'm going to do a full-on like MTV Cribs tour once I got all my decorations up. It'll probably be a couple months because I want to make this like an office. But yeah, that is going to do it, you lovelies. I hope you guys had a good chat. I see Tarantula, Scorpion, Tombstone, Boomerang, and Ramrod are some rumored supporting villains. We'll see how many of those make it. Again, I think that's a potentially fun time. Nicholas Barantos, I'm glad you made some of the chat as well. Shout out to Spidey Cat. I agree. Film Addict saying hi. I love what you do, and I had the pleasure to see you reach amazing heights. I appreciate that. 1 a.m. in Thailand. Get some rest, but I appreciate the kind words. Favorite Ultimate run, Spider-Man. Easy. Loving that so much. Ultimate's also great, but Ultimate Spider-Man is incredible. I'm out on Marvel Unlimited delay. Coach repost vids of those weeks. Go to the membership sites or just watch the old ones. I can't make more videos. I cannot do more. But if you watch a video from a month ago, it'll be those. If you watch it from 3 months ago, it'll be the main Marvel Unlimited. All of those are forever. They're evergreen on my site. I read weekly. I can't do more. I can't. I don't have it in me. Echo Albino, good to see you. Superman ad throughout that giant book is amazing. Rizzy, yeah, I mean, people suck, but you got to find the positive folk. They're out there. My mom in the chat, good to see you. People excited for weapons. Joey Radstone in particular. People celebrating theaters makes me happy in general because that is my favorite place on the planet is the movie theater. Comic book store is right there, close second. All right, you lovelies, that is gonna do it. I appreciate y'all very much. I'm gonna go rest my voice, rest my brain, and read some comics. This was a fun little impromptu Tuesday. Maybe I'll do more impromptu ones. But yeah, Friday, hopefully I can do another one of these in the afternoon, maybe like 2 or 3 PST, 5 to 6 EST. Maybe, if all goes well, I'll get that live stream up for you guys. And then this month is a little light on movies for me. I'm probably not going to see Weapons. Don't need that kind of darkness in my mind. But I am so excited for Caught Stealing. Probably going to check that out ASAP and get that review up at the end of the month. But we will see. Much love to all of you. Leave a comment. It helps this thing grow. Like this video. It helps this grow. Subscribe if you're not already. You just watched me for an hour. You like me at least a little. Subscribe. And the 50 comment giveaway is happening. I just need to figure out how to randomize my followers so I can make sure that I give to someone. I might do just a big 50K celebration video and have people comment on that one, leave it up for a week, and anyone that commented in a week, like that way I really spread it out. That might be how I do it so they're eligible because I could do a randomized thing from comments, but I don't know how to do 50,000 person randomized from followers. Got to figure that out. I promise you those 50 comics are going out to one of you, any subscribers eligible, one of you, unless it becomes a common thing, hopefully by the end of August, like in the next 2 weeks. Like August just started. So I hope you get them by the end of August. So we're going to figure that out. Much love, you lovelies. We'll see you soon. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. And everyone that left the super chat, thank you. All right. Bye, guys.